Hey guys. Oh, I did not dress for this. Hey, I just did a quick little video about how to clip a chicken's wing, and I get done, I go to put my hand in my pocket, and guess what? Yeah, so when you're going to handle your chickens, make sure that you have got clothes that can handle chicken poop. You're okay to get pooped on. I mean, no one's really okay to get pooped on, but make sure you got this clothes to get pooped on. So that's an ew. That's one ew I've got. And here's another ew I'm going to show you. And if you know, you know. But I'm going to show you anyway. There's a movie called What the Heck Are They Spraying? Not cool. That's not cool. Don't like it. There was a lot of that going on this morning too. And then the other part is our white sun. I don't like our white sun. I remember a yellow sun growing up, and the sun is now white. So I'm not in love with that. That's another ew. That's my second ew. My third ew is, oh my gosh, look what the wind did to the greenhouse plastic. That actually is not greenhouse plastic. That was a shower curtain, old shower curtain, clear one from Walmart. And I put it up there so that these chickens would have just a little area that was a little bit drier to be able to walk around in. But the wind will shred stuff. Do not underestimate the power of the wind. So that's 3 oohs right off the bat. I'd show you inside the greenhouse, but that's a really bad ooh. Okay, here's another ooh, and I'm going to show you what I do when I see this. We have had issues with groundhogs and moles and voles. These holes, there's 1, 2, and then there's a third one over there, and there's probably more if I walk through. This is all grass clippings. But these holes are critters. They're fresh holes. I don't like them. So this is what I do right now. And this is what I've been doing. It seems to work pretty well. It really makes them mad, and they stop digging in those areas. Is I push in sticks and I break them off. You know, you can try and rebury the holes. They're going to dig them up again. But the sticks, like I said, it seems to really make them annoyed. So that's what I do. Cut some more stick here. When you see the holes, if this is something you want to try, because they're not poisoning anything, you're just making them mad. And less likely to want to keep making holes in these areas. And I've noticed every time I put a hole in the, or a sticks in these holes, they don't come back to those same areas. There's a little one right there. Actually, that's a pretty big one. And it's right up next to the greenhouse too. So the problem is, if you don't get rid of these somehow, if you don't discourage them from coming around, they're going to get into your sheds, your greenhouses, your garages, and they're going to make their homes there because they can. If I had hardware cloth around here, that would be less likely to happen as well. But I did not put hardware cloth around here. So they're going to take advantage of whatever they can find, whatever situation they can find to make their holes because they're comfortable. So for now, that's what I like to do with these small holes. Just shove sticks in there. So let's see. I said I wasn't going to go to the greenhouse. I really need to get in here, but it has just been too cold, nasty, and then I've been working full time. Oh, there's some cool things. Some geese. Canada geese, they call them. Not Canadian geese, I guess. But Canada geese. So here's an ooh with my greenhouse is this door is warped and changed from the weather, and we have to redo that this year. This screen door was just something I threw together temporarily. And I always say do things temporarily until you know for sure you want it a certain way, then make it permanent. So this door needs to be reconfigured and repaired. This screen door needs to be changed too. Some people say, why do you have a screen door on there? Well, if I'm growing cabbages or other brassicas in here, if I don't have a door on it, then the stupid cabbage moths will come right inside, or whatever else that I don't want in here will come in. So I mentioned about them making your shelters, their shelters. Sure enough, look at that. You see that? So they're in here, and any kind of tender plant I put in here is going to get eaten if I do not resolve these situations. Looks like they dug over here too. There's some dirt, some fresh dirt. So they were trying to dig either under or through or something. I need to take care of that this year for sure. I see some fresh dirt over there as well. So if you're growing in those hoop houses that don't have floors, I would consider sinking some hardware cloth around the outside edges of whatever greenhouse you're growing in, so things won't burrow through under. Now, that's not going to keep out rats or mice from just finding their way in, but it will keep those burrowing ones from getting in there and making a home. So yeah, seasons change and things wear down, and like this patio, I made this patio 2 years ago for the greenhouse. It was so beautiful, and I'll just have to restore it this spring and clean it all up again. And the greenhouse was gorgeous when it was built because it was all new wood. We did not put any sealant on it, so the wood is aging. But those are things that you do when you first start. Again, you make it temporary until you want to make them permanent. This greenhouse has been two different hoop houses that have blown away in the wind. And we thought for sure we had them secured really well, but no. The wind will take over. It doesn't matter. And the first one got torn up. The second one got flipped over like this. It looked like one of those roly-polies on its back. And the metal was all bent up as well. So this, they say, is Alaska wind-proof greenhouse. And I was inspired by the Justin Rhodes channel. Rebecca wanted one of those made. And when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, that's what I need. So we have those. We have this one. Temporary till permanent. We had a really small coop where this new coop is, the large coop is. And you could not walk into it to maintain it. You had to access from the outside, which was fine when we were doing it. But we learned that we liked the comfort of having a door and having more room for them in case it's bad weather. So that's why we built this larger one here and replaced it. And now this is all temporary, the tarping and the netting and the PVC pipes. I don't show this part much. Oh, more geese. They're flying north. But motion sensor light. Oh yeah, in the greenhouse. Thank you, Connie. That's a great idea. I have some of those around the property. Like I've got one over at the gate there. I've got one on the other side of the coop. And I've got one on the far fence over there. Just to kind of discourage the critters from coming. But that's a great idea inside the greenhouse. I'm going to think about doing that. And I haven't done anything with this all winter. Last year I tried to grow things over the winter. So I insulated, still have some bubble wrap left. I insulated with bubble wrap. I had a heater going. And what else? Oh, I had like tents of frost cloth, and I would cover the plants all the time. And I have these black, oh my gosh, here, hold on, let me show you. There. I had these black trash cans full of water, and they were covered. I think there's 4 of them in there. And they helped, and we have this insulation along the sides too. And that helped keep the temperature from having wild temperature swings. But if the power were to go out, or sometimes it was just too cold for the heater to do any good, it was stressing me out. It was giving me more stress than it was joy. So I will come in here shortly, soon, and clean all these out. And I made these tables that can be, the top can be lifted up so I can access underneath if I need to. And then it's got hardware cloth on top. And this is where I can start seedlings and keep plants going when the temperatures are more stable. They say if you're, anyway, that's what I've got about that. That's a greenhouse. And I guess that's for another day. I should talk about that specifically a different day. So yeah, you can grow a lot of things in the greenhouse. I did manage to overwinter some things, but they grew super slow. So I don't know that I will. I didn't do it this year, so I don't know if I'll do it next year either. But my whole point is make things temporary until you like what they're going to be. When once we get the garage finally permitted out or whatever, they approve of everything and the contractors are done, then Chief is actually going to extend this roof line out and down here this way too. So we will, and I think he was going to make it, when it comes out and down, we're actually going to put another extension this way somehow, so we don't have this tarp going on all the time. Now the ropes across the tarp have kept the tarp from flying out and getting all torn up, but this is like our second tarp now. The first tarp lasted all of last winter, but now we've got the second tarp, and it's held with tie downs. I forgot what to call them. Ratchet straps. Held with ratchet straps in place, and it's really not going anywhere. And then so there's 3 of those on top of there. It comes down here, and that way they've got a little bit, because their outside top door is right there. So they at least have a little stretch where it's nice and dry. Hi, Gracie. Hello, Betsy. And they have a little stretch where it's nice and dry, and it's out of the sun too. Because, but if they want to be in the sun, they could perch in the sun. If they just want to run around, they have plenty of room to run around. They have plenty of room to run around. I made them some roosts, and they do that too. When I'm working in this garden here, they will sit on these roosts here, and they'll just watch me. And it's kind of weird to have chickens watching you. And when we had turkeys, there would be chickens sitting on the roosts. There would be chickens laying down and watching, and then the turkeys would be watching too. And it's like they're judging. Not really, but it was like they were judging. So make things temporary until you make them permanent. This cargo netting was not necessarily meant to keep out hawks, because a hawk could easily, if they wanted to, slip in there and get the chickens. This is big enough for a hawk to do that. Hello, lone goose. But it kept the turkeys in. It kept the turkeys in. And I also have it underneath this tarp, so the weight of snow or water or whatever, wind, doesn't just collapse it all down. That's been helpful. Now in the back, I put deer fencing. For this run, there's a whole run that goes all the way from the one end of the greenhouse all the way over to the end of the pen back there. And there's a tarp over this, and then there is greenhouse fencing all along here, so no predators can reach them from the air, just, directly there. Now this part they could reach. But like I said, it was to keep the turkeys in at the time. And the big birds don't fly out. They like to hang out on the ground. Alright, so I told you all that to tell you what? Oh, I was going to show you just a couple other things real quick. Yeah, and mostly it's the ew factor. Ew. Okay, these are the Carmine Jewel cherry bushes. And look at this. I could reach the top. This is as tall as they get. And then they do get wide. They do get about 6 feet wide. You can see the spots where the chickens have been scratching around. They can get to the lower cherries, so I don't care if they get to the lower cherries, but the top ones they can't. And these are small enough that we can actually put bird netting, well, not bird netting, but bug netting, and protect the fruit until we're ready to eat them. And they are prolific. So yeah, here's some volunteers over there. There's actually 2 stems there. There's a stand right here of these same bushes. And then they're not hard to prune. This one's got a bunch of suckers on the bottom. I got to cut all those off. Those actually might be volunteers. But I'll cut them all off. And with any kind of shrub, you want to make sure the center is like wide open. So I have already cut off any branches that were pointing toward the centers. This is a new branch. I have to cut it off because it's pointing toward the center and it's crossing with this one. So I have no problem sacrificing those kinds of branches, because what will happen when they rub together is the point of contact will make the bark on both of them, one or both of them, really weak. There we go. Where these two contact each other, it'll make it really weak. It will open it up to diseases and bugs, bacteria, and things like that. So this one is going to get pruned. This one in here is going to get pruned. They're just new. They're new. They can go. That one right there can go. Let's see. I'll probably take that one out because it's so close to the others. You know, it's touching. If it's touching, crossing, touching, going toward the center, dead, disease, take them out. You're not going to hurt your plant. You're actually going to make it stronger and better able to bear the fruit without getting diseased. But if you do see suckers, like this one's got suckers, take them out. Oh, there's some volunteers over there. Carmine, Jewel, cherry. So if you want to put in some cherry producing plants, these are great to do. They're tart cherries for pies and jams, and they reproduce very readily. They're very, very happy and they reproduce readily. So, all right, here I'll show you another ooh. Oh, we got to pick this up. This is from this guy. Hi, Sterling. How are you, buddy? He looks so handsome when the wind is blowing his fur back. He looks like a character, the guy on the front of a Harlequin romance novel. Oh, yes. With your flowing locks. Yes. And your big poops. So we gotta take care of those. What else is ick and ooh? This is an ick and ooh show. I forgot to tell you that. Here's ick and ooh. This is not ick and ooh. This is great. The chickens have used this as a bath, a sand bath, a dirt bath. And they've dug up all the weeds that are in there. You can see just the roots now. And that's fine. Go for it. These are wild raspberry canes. So I don't care if they do that all up in this corner. I might... these have... careful. They have thorns. Because they're wild raspberries. But I might let them actually kind of encourage them to kind of grow this way. Because nothing's going to be bothered, you know, over here with pokers. So that is not an ick and ooh. But this is an ick and an ooh. Look at that. Probably, what you call it? Not moles, groundhogs. And in the lot on the other side of this fence, there's a whole bunch of them all along the side. And this looks like pretty fresh dirt. I have some gummies that you just put in the hole. Not this hole. I'm going to find a different hole, but not this access point. But you would put them in the hole, in the middle of a hole, middle of a tunnel. You shove them in there, and they eat them, and they die. And because it's going to be in a tunnel, just the mole gets to them, or the groundhog just gets to them, not the wildlife. And so that's a gross. That's an icky. What else is an icky? This is an icky to the eyeball. But there's a whole lot of wildlife all up in here. There's insects and chrysalises and bees overwintering all up in here. This is where the cup plant is. This is what cup plant looks like when it's toppled over in the wild. It's not really the wild, but it looks wild. That's cup plant. That's a sunflower. And then the hibiscus are all back here too. We got tons of hibiscus for tea, and I'll need to cut those back, but not yet. It's still a little early. So again, you can see where chickens have been scratching in the dirt. And here's ideas of what to grow for when you have chickens. Hibiscus could work. Fence them first until they get big enough, till all that new growth has grown up into the stems, and then let the chickens in there. Same with cut plant. I'll cut those back, and then let the chickens in. Let's see. Oh, they even went over here. Let me see. Are there any eggs over here? And sometimes they'll do that. They'll run away and they will make a little nest somewhere where I don't want them to. More cut plant, more hibiscus, some snapdragons. Snapdragons, they say are annuals, but you know what? They just keep coming back. Oh, but there is a wild raspberry. That's got to go. I'm going to pull that up. And I open all of the orchard up. Here's some more ick. Is the swamp milkweed. Everywhere that you see a white stem is a swamp milkweed. And there are many and sundry, way too many for this space. So when the ground warms up a little bit more, I'm going to dig them out and put them in a wheelbarrow, put them in pots, give them away, something. Because they cannot all stay here. That's not going to work for me. In the very back is the fig. And in the very, very back, along the wall fence, is the grapes. Grapevines. I got to cut all those back too. Cut all those back. And let's see what else. What else is an ick? Oh, the ick of this is, oh wait, that's not an ick. Is that a cicada? Or not cicada. What is that? Oh, that is ick. That's a dead peach, and it's got to go away. It's probably got the bug in it. Ooh, gross. Ooh, throw it over the fence. So the ick we had for last year was, this is our peach tree, and all the peaches ended up getting like mummified, and it was probably due to the, I don't know what you call it, bug, and then they got like infected or whatever, and they dried all up. So what they say, oh cool, here's a cool thing, found a snake. Look at that. I won't touch it. I won't touch it. I won't touch it. It's a rubber snake. One of the rubber snakes we put up in the tree when the peaches are just starting to get ripe, so that we can collect them before the birds do, because birds don't like snakes, they say. I've got another one around here somewhere. I don't know where it is. Whoa, 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 look at the snake. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So what they say is you're not supposed to have any of the old fruit around, laying around. That's why you don't leave pitted fruit around. I gotta look that up a little bit more, because I think the chickens, if anything emerges, the chickens having free reign over here are just gonna gobble them up, if it's one of those kind of bugs they can see. I see a lot of peach pits around here. Maybe I need to rake all that out. I gotta do a little bit more digging on that. I'm learning as you're learning. I'm learning as I'm teaching you, so some things I gotta just do and learn. And I want to prune this more. It's open right now, but it could still be more open, and I also want it to be shorter. It needs to be a lot shorter. Your fruit trees, if your fruit trees are too tall, you can't reach the fruit, and it's no point. So the tree's going to put all that energy into growing tall, and you won't reach the fruit. And the birds will. They will say thank you very much. So when you go to orchards, you'll notice, like, the apple trees are really, they're only maybe, what, 6 foot tall? Maybe 8 foot tall? And the branches a lot of times are like curled over where the fruit is lower on the tree. That way there's good air circulation, there's better pollination, and you can reach the fruit. And these have so many buds. Oof. They're so early and there's so many buds. Hey, bud. We got too many of you buds. All right, here's some more ick. I got some suckers on the pear tree. I got a broken branch on the cherry tree I gotta take care of. I got suckers on the apple tree there. Suckers on that apple tree there. Both of those have to be pruned as well. And let's see, yep. So I got more maintenance to do. And so when you're out in your garden, just bring your camera too. That's the other tip. Bring your camera so you can start taking pictures of the things you need to get to, the to-do list. You can see last year when I had Dawn Green out, the orchardist, professional orchardist out, this is how far back she had cut it. And I'm sure it was at least twice that height. You can see the cut marks. So those are good spots. That's the good height to reach. With that one right there is about as tall as my head is. That one is a little bit taller than me, but not much. She really whacked that one back. And her point is, if she can't reach them, they're too tall. And she's a little taller than I am too, so. And then the same thing's going to apply where you look to see if there's branches growing toward the center, if they're dead, they're diseased, they can come right off. I just have to double check if it's time to prune or if it's too early. I have to look in that and see. So that's an ick. What the heck? Oh, the rooster just... There's commotion with the chickens over there. The rooster just chased the last hen inside. She didn't like it. Hey, look at that. Look at those unnatural clouds. And more geese. Hello, geese. Unnatural clouds. Oh, I can't show you ick on here because I already took off all the stems and branches and stuff. I finally cleaned my trellises, Josh's arches, from all the stems from the squash, the watermelon, tomatoes, etc. And over the winter, I just throw them over here. And then recently, I raked them all up there. And I think we're going to burn them because they may carry diseases and bugs and stuff that I don't want terrorizing the living stuff. But this soil is like amazing soil. It's been tilled up by chickens. They've put their poop in there. Oh, I got plastic over here. There's leaves, wood mulch, grass clippings, all mixing together really, really well. That's a milkweed. Another swamp milkweed. And it's got to go. It's got to get relocated to a better home. And I just cold mulch, or cold compost. I don't really do too much hot composting because I think it feels complicated to me. And someone's going to say it's not. It just feels complicated to me, so I don't know. And let's see what else I can tell you about. Oh, here we go. So Chief mulched up, he shredded up some branches from junk trees that were growing in between the pine trees, or the evergreens. I'm not sure if they're pines. I'm hoping they're not white or blue spruces, because the blue spruces are not doing well these past couple of years. But it's wood mulch. He bought me a chipper 2 years ago for Christmas. Who would have thought I'd be happy with a chipper for a Christmas present? But I was. So these trees back here, those trees, that's the area he cleaned up back there. He got all the junk trees out, cut them all down, and then chipped them. And he was adding like at least an inch layer to the cold compost pile we've got over in that corner there. And then there's still some more junk trees here. Here's my snake. I'm gonna leave my snake here. That'll be a fun present. I don't think the chickens might get freaked out though. I better move it. I'll move it over here. Oh, I should have put this in the pen, and then the wild birds might stay away. All right, I'll just leave that there for now. All right, and a handful of trash. Let's show you over here. It's a mess right now, but still, we're waiting for this to be finished. So the cars can go in there, his stuff can go in there, junk can be taken to the scrapyard. All my stuff can go in this garage here, organized well. But yeah, these are junk trees here. And looks like he cut them down. They're laying sideways, so he must have cut them. He just didn't pull them through yet. Or else he couldn't pull them through the fence. There's that one still. There's this giant stump. And the huge problem is that if these junk trees keep growing up through these evergreens, the evergreen branches die. When evergreen branches die, they don't grow back. So every time you trim your evergreens on the bottom, those branches will never grow back. Eventually you end up with like a Q-tip. So I am seeing a lot of vines. Look at this vine. This vine's got to go. A lot of vines, a lot of dead branches right up in here. And I'm hoping it's not dieback from the blue spruce disease. I have to find that out. So yeah, so if you let the junk trees keep growing, they're going to affect the evergreens, and then we're going to lose our evergreens, and that would be very sad. Now, what you can cut back, and it will grow just fine. It'll take a little while, but you can cut it back, are lilacs. You can cut back really mature branches. You can see down there, we cut down some pretty mature branches. They were like this big. This lilac had never been trimmed. Never been trimmed. And none of these little ones were growing either. It was all really large branches just coming out. So now that we've trimmed it back a bunch, it's like a whole forest of lilac sticks. And the lilac sticks are going to give us more blooms. So this lilac is, oh gosh, it's 12 foot high, 15 foot high. And the whole thing was like that. But it was also surrounded by these evergreens, kind of competing for light and things like that. So it wasn't blooming great. There were some buds, but they were also so high you couldn't reach them. So I had Chief cut back at least a third of the really, really large branches, which gives us new shoots and new growth to come up. And we will hopefully get some more blooms. More blooms. Oh, and that one broke off. I don't know when that broke off. There's plastic over there. I don't know what that is either. Oh, and this, I think, is the poison ivy, and it's got to go too. It's growing right up here. Poison ivy grows as a vine, gets into everything. It changes color in the fall, so it's bright red. But I'm not going to test it and see if it is. What I would do with this is cut it at the bottom, and then take the Roundup that's only made for poison ivy, and I would saturate that whole area. But I cut it first. I'm not going to burn it. You never burn poison ivy because it sends the poison stuff up in the air, and you can get it in your lungs, and then you're really hurting. But you can cut it off at the base and douse the whole thing with the the Roundup that's only made for poison ivy. That's one of the only times I use Roundup, is for those. Oh, here we go. Here, I'll show you another Eewwww. It's the Eewwww tour. Look at that. That's all. That soil is not from us, and it's not from the construction people. It's from the stupid groundhogs. So I used the stick method and started shoving the posts in there for now. And you know, who knows? They're probably going to dig somewhere else instead. But for now, they won't be getting in here and harassing us. So, all right, that's about it. The good thing is the daylight is lasting longer and coming up sooner. And the sun's coming up sooner. We're supposed to get some severe weather Tuesday night into Wednesday, so get ready for that. Secure everything that you got that's fly-awayable. Is that a word? And put your car in the driveway or not in the driveway. Put your car in the garage or carport, not under a tree, so you don't end up with a big damaged tree. I mean car from the tree damage. And looks like a pretty sunset, except for those. Alright, that's all I got. Love you guys. Good night.